Yep, going.
Are you starting? Okay. This is a third series in a video of the ecosystem on my place. We'll start with this mesquite tree. It's got beams on it, but if you also notice, it's got uh, insects on it. These they look kind of like squash bugs. They have a stinger that they stick in and they suck the juice from the tree. And they live on this tree as part of the environment. These beans also, when they fall down and other animals eat them. This particular tree I have trimmed, so it's part of my yard, but usually they grow out bushy all over from the base out, but I wanted this one to get bigger at the base, and so I trimmed it. And if you notice, it's got some dead stems. I don't know exactly why those died. I trimmed them. They were nice and green like these others, but I'll be pruning this one off, growing and making a larger tree. But if you look around this to my left, you'll see this area here on top of this hill. It's drier than where we were on one of the other videos, but many of the same plants are here. We can look closely and we can see right over here there are some barrel cactus. There are those little, there's one there and two here and one over here. And those, I'm going to keep those as part of the yard. There's also a bigger one there. They produce a little flower. Right next to them, you see two yucca. This is a real tiny baby yucca, and this is one that's a little bit older. The yucca grow real good in a dry area. When it gets wet, they don't do so well. You can see the remains of a prickly pear cactus. It got a little more moisture up here than what they like, and so it died. And then we mowed it, and so it wasn't very good for its habitat. We changed the habitat, so it died. You can see other plants here, the kochi weed like we saw earlier. You can see a different specimen of grass. There's some side oats grama grass growing in here too. And here's a plant we saw earlier on another video that was much taller. This is on a drier area, so it's a lot shorter. Here's another little, it's not a mesquite, but it's very similar to a mesquite. Again, here we have the sheep brush that we saw earlier. Here are some plants that have a beautiful little purple flower. You can see them. I want to show you what happens to that purple flower. You see it's beautiful, but this little ball here has got stickers on it. Let me find one that's harder. Those things will track into your house, and they really hurt when you step on them barefoot. Here you can see one that's not quite ripe, but you can see the little stickers on them. They get hard and really are difficult to break, but they stick to your feet. Here's some more young yucca. Here's another insect that's part of this habitat here. Those are what I refer to as red ants. They are not fire ants. Many people refer to these as fire ants, but they are not fire ants. These are a different species, but they eat seeds and they build nests. I leave these. I don't try to eliminate these. They're far enough away from the house. My grandkids don't get in them, and they also are the food for the horned lizard. And we have several horned lizards here on the place, different sizes. I've even seen a group of 6 babies that were just about the size of my little finger. And then I've got all sizes. I've seen all sizes since. If we see one while we're walking, I'll show you the picture. Back in to my left, you can see the area where we were in an earlier video, and it's much wetter there because the water runs from the top of the hill down there. You can also see some of the elm trees that I transplanted. They grow real easy in this area. Some of the other trees don't grow as good. To the right, you can see a salt cedar that was here when I came, and I've actually grown some baby salt cedar from it, and I have them transplanted in another area of the place, but they're all natural. Over this direction we can see some more yucca. I want to show you something that we can do with yucca that many of you don't know. If we very carefully get down to the center part of the yucca, you can pull that out and you see this. It's very good to eat. It's soft and tastes good. So if you're out in the wilderness, you need a little snack, find the yucca and you can eat this white part up until it starts getting hard. It's very good. The center part is also what turns into the stem that have the flowers and then the seed pods. Now that's really hard there, it's not any good. Leaves are getting a little tough, so but that was a pretty nice little snack, and you can get that all the time in the wild. Here you can see some more side oats grama up here on the dry spot. There are some other grama grass species up here. I saw some earlier. Here's another little plant that has little tiny purple flowers. These are beautiful flowers. Even these weeds have beautiful flowers on them. When you get to looking at them, they're very beautiful. It just is amazing, the magic, the miracle of life. All of these things and the way they produce is just a miracle to me. Let's walk over this way and we'll show you how an elm tree starts from the seed. There's one, and it'll illustrate exactly how they grow so easy. On the way, here's a natural flower that's here on this place, and these turn into little seed pods. These pretty purple flowers turn into little seed pods, and I keep this one here because I really think they're pretty. But in the fall I mow it sometimes after they dry up, and so I've scattered those seeds and I've got them all up along the house. But if you look right here, this is an elm tree. If you look real close, you can see it's coming out very close to the edge of the house. That seed got in there, kept the moisture in, and then it sprouted and grew into this tree. I won't have to move that tree because it's too close to the foundation. I don't like it that close, but that just illustrates how easy they are to grow. If we go this way just a little bit, we'll see another area of the yard. If you can see this area here to my left is got a lot of grass and a lot of weeds. Mostly it's grass, and I mow that. This year I planted some trees down through there and watered it, so it's got a lot more grass, and they're a little bit taller than they usually are. But it's another area where the water runs from the top of this hill where we're standing, runs down there and irrigates that naturally. And so it's a part of the habitat here on my place. Here's another species of grass. This one's called foxtail because these are the seed heads, and they were bushy like a fox. tail. Here's a young one. It's not as bushy as these drier ones, and that spreads and it grows naturally. But that's about it for this particular video. Again, we just see all kinds of plants in this habitat, this environmental system, and everything is imposed in part of this ecosystem.